Alright, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so in this room we have all the stones and the fossils that were studied and that were also dug out. So after studying these fossils, they have now been preserved in the museum, and those aren't really very interesting. Those are just fossils and some stones which they have displayed. The thing that I found interesting and worthy of showing you guys was that this is the first time I saw the pottery being decorated from all of these places. It does have some pottery like that one, but this isn't decorated. However, the pottery over here has been decorated and probably baked once. So this is the first time they started to actually pay attention towards towards vanity, basically. Another very interesting piece of archaeology that I saw here is this. Now I'll give you around 5 seconds to guess what this is, and then I'll tell you. So these are seals. These are seals, and a seal is a device having an image or a symbol, name or a figure on it, and it's used to impress these designs by applying pressure or using dyes. Sometimes they are served as signatures. So basically these are stamps. These are primitive, old stamps which were dug out of the ground. It doesn't say the date, and if it does say the date, I can't really understand because it's not in English. It's not in English. So sometimes idols. It says right here in this information board that there were sometimes figures of idols carved and engraved in these stamps, so that you would know which sect or from which group of people this particular text or writing is. Very interesting. So these pieces are basically from the early Bronze Age, and you guys can see that's already written here that they're from early Bronze Age, which we saw in the first room that they were carving, they were molding metal. So that's where these pieces are from, actually. So this thing is very interesting. I don't understand what this is. Maybe this is something to make tea in. And these are vessels and flasks and pots, which are like molded together. And there are some other flasks. This is a two-headed flask in the middle. And another flask. And this is an idol. The bull figurine, dated to Bronze Age, is turned back to Turkey. Okay. But this is supposed to be an idol. I'm pretty sure because that's what they used to do. They used to worship idols back there. Back then, they used to worship idols. This is definitely an idol. So this seems to be like it was broken, and they have pieced it back together, tried to mend it. They put it in this contraption so that it won't break. They have pieced it together for sure. You can see that they have put some kind of a glue to fasten it together. And it should say that what this is. So this is the first Bronze Age ceramic which was found in the Bronze Age. Okay, as it evolved into a town, there were many sections that they had constructed these kinds of ceramic, what would you call it? I don't know what this is called really. This is a piece of ceramic. It's a big vase, but this is a bowl. It's called a deep bowl over here. Um, it is regarded as the deep bowl, and it doesn't really have a name. It just calls it vessel or a bowl or a deep bowl. They don't give it a specific name, and they don't know what it's named or what the native people named it. And there are other ceramics as well with carvings and designs on them. Again, there's some more ceramics which had to be pieced back together. And this is a figurine, mostly depicting living things that are easily carried. It's very interesting. They're small animals, and I believe these are stamps. So this is an ornament. This is an ornament. That's a container. Okay, so these ornaments contained perfume. They're perfume containers. This is supposed to be a drink container, and it used to contain like wine and all sorts of. I don't really know other alcohols, so specifically wine in this period. They were also frequently used for religious purposes. Okay. They're actually made from marble. Again, this had been broken down and had to be put back together. Again, these are all drink containers, and the ones with the narrow mouth, which we just saw last time, which were used for wine, like this one, this evolved into wider lipped containers such as these. I have one question. ये किसके लिए ये वाला? ये किसके लिए? For ants? It's so small. Okay, so this is something fancy right here. As you can see, this is something which has a little bit of glaze on it. It's a bit shiny. That means that this is something really fancy. And this is the hugging man or a woman. I don't really know. It doesn't say anywhere what this is. So they must not know what it is. Okay, this specific thing, this is a container to serve as an offering for the gods. So whenever they used to offer any sort of a liquid in the name of their god, they used to do it in this container. Other assorted pottery items. Oh, this is so cute. This one's so cute. So this is mostly supposed to be lidded, but they were not able to find the lid for this. But it's supposed to be lidded. It should have a lid on it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the toilet. This served as a toilet. Now use your own imagination as to how they used it as a toilet. It says it right here, used as a toilet. Okay, now we're getting somewhere interesting. After the toilet thing, this is a mashing pot. So you could mash vegetables, maybe grapes for wine, and maybe corn kernels and stuff. And this. And over here, these are flasks. They were usually taken on journeys. They have something engraved on it. I think it's a knight. It's a warrior. And this one, Ascos. What is this? This is a fat-bellied ancient oil container. So this one is an oil container. And let's go ahead. Again, we have some fancy pottery now. Some glazed green pottery. And this one, so carrot ki tarah lag raha hai. It's amphora. So this was again a traveling vessel. Used to carry like wine, some other drinks, oil in this container. So this it was used to travel with rather than serving. So these archaeological artifacts are from the 3rd millennium BC. This is supposed to be from the research that was conducted on the Pirage Acropolis. It dates back to the Catholic period, which is the 5th millennium BC. So this is supposed to be some Roman architecture. This particular one is iridescent. It has holographic colors to it. So these things are from the early Bronze Age. These were obviously found in Antalya. And its original name was Arkavanda, which means the place by the high cliff. And they actually understand कि ये कहाँ से निकली थी and the name of the place, because sometimes they can't really tell what the name of a thing is. And these are from the Bronze period, by the way. So these green, blackish statues and ornaments, these are actually from the Bronze Age. So they knew how to carve and mold and bend metal by now. So it's just a feat of a statue, nothing else. These are some ornaments here. Like that's a ring, I suppose. And those are needles. This statue is from the Rome period. It was actually extracted and mined in. The statue is actually from the Rome period, as it says. And this is the statue of Atis. It was discovered in 1971. And the whole statue, this is a statue, and not what I was thinking priorly, जो कि मैं समझ रही थी it's a shield of some sort, until I got close to it, and it's a statue. It was discovered in 1971. All of these things were found in Kantara. Kantara is a province in Antalya, where I'm currently at. And Kantara is actually nearby the river. And all of these archaeological findings are from that specific area. They do have a lichen origin. And you can see that this is actually gold now. And these particular pieces of pottery were found in, I'll tell you in a bit, they were found in Agora. And Agora, again, there was like a mausoleum with lichen and Greek inscription, lichen and Greek writing on the square. And this is the picture of the square. And all of these things were found there. Now they have sort of modern ceramics with a rooster. And in our workshop, we saw similar kind of things. That they had some stories that they told on pottery, and then they had some roosters, which they still do something similar to this very day. They used to have carvings and paintings of roosters. अभी भी यही होता है. Now still they carry the same tradition after so many years. This is a statue of a woman. It's dated to 2nd cent BC, and it's made out of marble. And this is Xanos, I think that's how you call it, because it has an X in it. Its period was early classical period, and this is made with limestone. This is Xanos. Xanthos, actually, that was the other one was Xanos, and Xanthos. Xanthos is also made in limestone from the early classical period again. This is also something from the early classical period again. It seems to be a lion. But iska sar, its head has actually been it has withered off, maybe because of erosion. Now here we have a carving of a bull, and we don't really know what the period of this particular piece is. This is also a carving of a lion, and this is a bust of a man. And they also show you what tools were used to carve these. Either these or similar sort of tools were used to carve all of these. Oh wow, now the place that I'm gonna get inside of, I think I'm going to like this the most, because it has all statues. I can see it from over here till the end. They're all statues. Wow. So this is a statue of what is this? Let me see. It's also carved in limestone, and it's a sphinx. Statue of a sphinx. And this is a statue of a woman from the Roman period. It doesn't have a head. Statue of a woman. And this is another statue of a woman. This was actually made in, and dates back to 2nd cent AD. Which is fairly earlier than the other pieces that we have. This is also a statue from AD, 2nd century AD. When I say you should understand that I'm saying century. And this is another headless statue from the Rome period. This is made out of marble, by the way. This whole statue is made out of marble. This is also made out of marble. Found in 3rd century. This one was found in 2nd cent AD. And this is, I believe this is made out of marble as well. So all of these statues have different dates, but they are made out of marble. There's a lady with a child. An angel, actually, not a child. And this seems to be something very significant. Let's take a read first. Said that this statue is very significant. Turns out it is significant, and it is one piece of the twin statue Dioscar. So as we all know, when we say dio or die, it means two. So he is one of the twin brothers of the mythological Greek god Zeus. And this is from the Greek period, by the way, 2nd century AD. So this particular statue, when it was found, was broken up. Tuta hua tha, and they have tried to mend it. And how I know that is because they do have an infographic here, and it shows you how badly it was broken up, and they had mended into this. This is the statue of Asclepius. I think that's how you say it. Asclepius. Okay, this is a statue of Asclepius made out of marble. Again, this seems like it has been very well preserved, except for its forearm. Everything else has been preserved pretty decently, and his nose. And her nose. This one's preserved very well too, fairly good enough, except for her fingers. This is from the Roman period, and this is also made out of marble. Okay, so this statue, which was supposed to be here, is currently, this artifact, as it says over here, this artifact is currently sent to the exhibition in Istanbul Airport Museum. So there are certain pieces which have their structural integrity compromised, so they have just put a rod in there. So there are some pieces here which have their structural integrity compromised, so they put in a rod so that they could be stable enough to be displayed. And over here, it's the same thing. Rods. This is the statue of Hermes with his lamb, or it's a ram, not a lamb. It's the biggest one over here, I guess. The biggest statue here. This is the statue of Emperor Tyrion. And this is the statue of some emperor that they don't really know the name to. It was also discovered in it is from 2nd century AD. It doesn't have a tag on it. Oh, it does actually have a tag on it. It says that It's a statue of a dressed woman. It's just a statue of a dressed woman. Nothing to see here. Just a statue of a dressed woman, as compared to a statue of an undressed woman, which they have a lot of, by the way. There is a headless woman. And there's another statue of a woman made in marble. I believe that this one is also extremely big. Alexander the Great. This is a statue of Alexander the Great, who is probably one of the most famous emperors in the history. And this is a statue right here. So this is the statue of Hercules, and it has probably slain a beast or something. So because I don't know why he has a bull there. And it was also found in Berg in the 2nd century AD. It's also made out of marble. And this is probably his camel or a horse, I can't really tell. Again, this is Emperor Tyrion. This time he doesn't have any clothes. He has his clothes on his shoulder. This particular box, which is extremely beautiful, by the way. Incredible detail. You can actually touch it. It's one of the first few museums which doesn't have those like red lines. Only a few products or a few things have red chains around them, red link chains, but none over here. So you can actually touch it and look at the stone and everything, you see? And the detail's so beautiful. This particular thing is a sarcophagus, and it has some Greek Roman letters on there. A sarcophagus, as most of you would know, is a grave, is a box sort of a thing where you put in the deceased member and bury it. That's what it is. Kabar hai ye. That's the right way to say it. Beautiful. This is also a sarcophagus, but with a different design. And these are basically, from what I can tell, they have different people or families on there. So these particular ones belong to the same family. For example, this one and this one might belong to the same family because it has similar architecture. It has similar architecture. Or maybe these were warriors. Okay, we can actually see what it was. So it says that the fragment. Oh no, it's just telling us about the how they extracted the sarcophagus. So this fragment of sarcophagus was smuggled abroad. Okay, after illicit excavations in Prague, and given back by Paul Getty, Museum of USA. Oh, so this was smuggled and then retrieved. Amazing. This also has like similar architecture, but it seems to be like it was a child's sarcophagus because the statue and the carving over here is of a child and it's much smaller. This one should also be of a child because again this is very small. This is what it looks like from inside. And this one is a sarcophagus of guirlands, completely made in marble. This was also smuggled and then brought back. This sarcophagus is for a dog. This one. But these aren't these aren't found here in Anatolia region very frequently. Rather, these are found very scarcely because this is for a dog. This sarcophagus has Medusa's head on it so that it can be protected by evil. This sarcophagus is supposed to be extremely important and prized. That's why it has a red link chain. This is a sarcophagus of Hercules. Very significant. And that's the reason it has been protected. So this marks the end of the Antalya archaeology tour, archaeology museum tour, and I'll give you a final 360. It's a beautiful, amazing piece of history. I don't really appreciate history enough, but coming here, I really think that it made me appreciate history more. And if you do come here to Antalya, I think that you should invest some time and definitely come here because it's worth a trip. It definitely is worth a trip. And still going out, still have some beautiful pieces to look at with incredible amounts of history that just cannot be covered in a day or even 2 days or even 3 days. So yeah, just coming out, they still have some pieces in display. So I spotted this little, not little actually, a big peacock. Hello. Everybody was like waiting for him to show, to open up his feathers, but he kind of gave them a curveball, and everybody just went ahead on their way. Do something. Come on. You can't care less. Let's go with naked now. Maybe if he has a female in front of him. Oh well. At least I tried.